Wow, I know you guys have been waiting for this. We've got the market update, the most recent one for November. And yes, we're getting ready for Christmas, and we wanted to invite you in and just have a chat with you about what's going on in the market. So welcome. Hey, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here, your great real estate agent by your side, right here along with Maureen to help you when it comes time to sell a house, buy a house, or even relocate here to the Treasure Valley. And today we've got some market stuff and some of our own opinions and interpretations and learned insight about what it all means. So, and if you have any questions about this, please just go ahead and leave them down below and we'll get back to you, or give us a call. We'd be glad to help you. Maureen, hey, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, thank you for having me at your house. Thank you.
Our house. Oh, this is a studio, but this is all fake. No, this is real. This is where we live now. We have room for a tree.
There you go.
Nice. Until the cats have another idea, then we'll find out what happens there. But anyway, so I'm going to let you talk about the market. I'm going to get into my fruitcake because it's that time of year.
I thought we could just chat a little bit about what we saw this year and, of course, the big prediction everybody is waiting for. What's 2024 is going to look like?
Everyone's asking.
But let's talk about how the whole year kind of went and how it was.
All right, we're on January 2023. What did you see out there?
Oh, January 2023, everybody thought it's going to crash. It's going to be terrible. Worst crash ever. Inventory was still very high at that point. And then May came around and we had the peak of everything.
Now, May is supposed to be when people are buying, selling, moving. It's like the hottest month traditionally.
That's right. That's right. So with builders holding back a little bit on their inventory, sellers starting not to sell since interest rates came up as well. So inventory came down back to, a good amount, I would say, for the demand we had. That kept prices or kept the natural curve that we always see in the year. We kind of had that curve. Spring was a hot market and then it slowed down.
I think what gets a lot of people is these experts on YouTube, you know who I'm talking about, that they look back to last year. And you can't compare what we have to the previous year because the previous year was all wonky. But if you look back before COVID, we had a pretty normal year.
We had, if you recap it, I would say we had a normal year. We're even a little bit less on the inventory side, but also less on the sales side compared to 2019. That's the year we are talking.
Right.
So, yeah, but we had the typical seasonal curves.
Wow.
Pretty wild. The only monkey in the wrench, no, that doesn't make sense, was interest rates are so much higher.
That's the only curve that totally didn't make any sense.
That was a big one, huh?
Yeah, but it still kept prices where they are right now. And it's for sure not a crash. Have they adjusted? Yes, especially in the higher end category.
Right.
Higher end homes. There was a big price decrease, but everything else kind of kept stable.
Well, can we talk about that? Because we're trying to figure out who can we talk about as an example for 2023. And then I walk by the mirror and I go, oh, Treasure Valley Dave. So, we sold our house. It was a standard CBH home and tons of equity in it because we bought back in the old days. And we got a house. If you know me, you know I'm not hoity-toity. Is that right? Huh. Here's my uniform right here. But so we were looking for houses. We accidentally bought one. This place that we're in now had been on the market for over 300 days.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it started out in the 900s. And the seller kept bringing it down. So when your agent's telling you this house is overpriced, it's not going to sell, the agent just might know what they're talking about. So we got this house at a really great deal. so I say all that to say this: if you're a seller and you need to right size, you may very well have equity in your home, especially if you've been there more than a couple of years. That we can go out and help you find those sellers that have those overpriced, higher end homes, and get you into one of those for. I mean, just the amount of money it's going to cost you is not going to be that much. So, gosh, that was my success story. And Maureen, she negotiated everything for me, and so she got. How long did it take for you to get a buyer? Was it like 3 days from my old house?
Yeah. Yeah, it was almost too quick.
Well, and that's the thing. So we had priced it right. Also, during negotiations, we actually got an extra 10,000 out of it. Wow! Congrats! Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm happy about that. So I didn't mean to take over all the stuff here. What else are you seeing?
I think a lot of talk is about the prices, how much they decrease months over months. I would say at that point, it's year over year what you need to look at. So we have November of last year and November of this year. The median home price was exactly the same. I mean, it's like $1,000 off or something.
Right.
But so it didn't crash in that year. So
The year was supposed to crash.
The year was supposed to crash, or the year before, or the year before.
Right. So, I see you got some marks on your thing there. It talks about inventory in November. It's kind of funny. The research that we have here, you can get your own copy of this too. If you go to the website, you can download these. But anyway, every November, prices, no, sorry.
Prices and inventory.
Prices and inventory.
Yes.
Wow, look, I got that one right. They come down. And then everything that goes down has to come up.
So I'm pretty sure in one of our previous videos, we talked about that November, December is, personally for me, I think it's the ideal time to buy. Because you have prices come down from the summer. You might not have the biggest selection. That's true. But you get a better price on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, a couple other things I saw on your charts is that in Canyon County, holy guacamole, the median price for a home over in Caldwell, $360,000. Woo! That is really good.
Yeah, I'm looking here for Ada County. We're looking at CUNA for 462.
Wow.
462.
462.
So that tells me that depends on what your priority is. If you get a job in Boise and you need to get into Boise, CUNA might be the place. Is it CUNA or CUNA?
CUNA.
CUNA. Make a note, please. That the extra money might be worth it, but if you're not working in Boise, you don't need to make that commute, then Caldwell might be the place, and you can save, $100,000.
Yeah. So we had, I think, for especially in Eagle, we had a few months where the median home price was, I think, once we came over $1 million. Everything else is about the 900. So and for this month, we're down to 792. So prices have come down, and it just depends on in which area you are and which price category you're looking at. Price category, that's exactly what it is. Affordability is for sure an issue. I totally understand. But we do have people that have equities in their house and can make it work. They find a good lender, and they're going to figure out what's the best solution for them.
Very true.
And price category, yep. Got to be comfortable. Don't buy outside of your comfort zone.
I was looking at we're talking about the seasonality. This blue line here. Oh, wow. That was Tammy's special recipe. I don't know what proof it is. Oh, sorry. But so seasonality, I mean, it looks like a sawtooth. So this blue line here is our number of sold. It goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up. Days on the market with the orange line here goes down, it goes up. So I think, like Maureen said, we're kind of back to normal. Caught her there. Hey, so our lender sent us out some information this morning. I thought this was pretty cool. Is that Realtor.com reports that 7.5% more home sellers listed their property in November 2023 than they did the year before. So that means that sellers were kind of existing homes, not builders, were kind of sitting on their homes because they have lower interest rates. They didn't want to, if they moved, then they'd have a higher interest rate. But apparently that iceberg's starting to move a little bit through the ocean of insanity. And the first time newly listed homes posted an annual gain in almost a year and a half. Oh, so they're
Hold on, let me think about that. Can you repeat that one more time?
sure. First time newly listed homes posted an annual gain the first time in almost a year and a half. This is nationwide, not just our area.
Okay. Yeah.
So some of those more depressed areas might have made it more of an
Yeah,
impact.
yeah. And I think so it's a good point because it really depends on the area too. I mean, I'm not just talking about Ada County, Canyon County, Eagle, Nampa. It's even more than that. Now it's the state,
Right?
where you are on your West Coast, East Coast, or your Central. So taking the average out of all of it, I don't think it's the right way to look at it.
That's true. Because you need to compare apples to apples.
Exactly. So you got to nail it down to and make sure that whoever you're listening to, that they're in that area and not talking about, for us, it doesn't matter what happened in Florida with
Right?
the home prices. Do we care if we have have a seller there who needs to sell at the highest price to get the best home here? Yes, but
But and I
Yeah.
was thinking about that too, whether it's, Florida and hurricanes or, I was going to say Tennessee, but there people would gravitate towards those because they are more conservative. But I want to say right here in the Treasure Valley, we also have the added benefit of not only being conservative, gun-toting, freedom-loving, but our weather is absolutely great. I mean, we have 4 seasons this week,
Wow.
but very low humidity in the summer. We don't have natural disasters. We do have earthquakes once every 40 years on average. And that's not right here in the Treasure Valley. That's off in the mountains someplace. But a few years ago, we did feel a little, it's like, but we're from California. It's like, let's get on with our day.
true.
So, but anyway, I say all that to say this is that could increase more demand for our area, which is probably going to keep prices pretty reasonable. Or, I mean, they're not going to crash. And in fact,
Stable. Can we call it stable?
Stable.
I think we should.
That's where I'm
call
going
it
to keep my
stable.
horse.
Yeah.
Right. I also saw in this information our lender sent out was that the Mortgage Banker Association showed purchase mortgage applications up 35% week over week.
Which I'm gonna say, Sue, and it's from where number is it coming?
Well, I'm sure it's nationwide.
Yes, but it's also like who refinanced in the last year or so.
Well, that's true too. Speaking of refinance, they also saw refinance applications saw their strongest week in 2 months, up annually 2 weeks straight for the first time in 2 years. So some people are starting to refinance because apparently they got really high rates, and now rates have come down some. I mean, they're not in the two. We'll never see 2s and 3s again.
Oh, I don't think so. Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Well, maybe.
Oh no, it would be crazy. You do not actually want to see that. So what would happen if we had a 3% mortgage rate starting January 1st?
We have 2020 all over again.
Oh my gosh, it would be terrible. We have so many people that are waiting on the sideline that we know of,
Right.
and that's just us.
Just us.
What about all the other people?
Right. We don't know all them.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But we'd like to. Another piece of information. This was a survey from Fannie Mae. You know who those guys are. Nearly 1 in 4 consumers think home prices will fall over the next year. So 25% of the people are watching those wackies on YouTube saying, oh, the crash, the crash, the crash, and believe in it. That means 3/4 of the people don't believe it. So, and also their panel of experts, they have 100 industry experts that say that they predict home prices will keep rising nationally for the next 5 years at a normal pace, which is normal. I mean, so we go back to the Treasure Valley here on page 1, that blue line. This is the bottom of the '08 resulting, what happened? You remember that? And then it's just prices kept coming up. And then you see COVID hitting, and then it just went all crazy. But so we're going to be back to this area here where it's going to be normal increase, just your normal, I think the Federal Reserve would like to see inflation of 2%. So we could expect at least a 2% increase in the value of your house just due to inflation. Thank you, Joe Biden. We had the highest inflation we've ever had in the last
I
40
was
years.
just saying, let's not forget 2024 is going to be an election year.
What do you make of that?
We have seen every time there's an election year, there's something going to change after that.
That's true. The last election year gave us COVID. Well, not me. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I guess that's the thing is we just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the best thing to do is what?
Crystal ball.
I think mine's in the shop right now. But no, I was going to say, just do something that's prudent. If you need to move, if you need to buy or sell, right now is whenever you do it is a good time. Even if interest rates are 13.5%, like when I had my first house.
Wow.
It was still a good time to buy because I needed to buy.
Yeah. And I think that's what we should not lose the focus on. That if it's time for you to move, then it's time to move. If you need to relocate, or if you're just tired of being a renter because you can't put the artwork you have or pictures, whatever it is, or you can't paint the wall color you would like, whatever your reason is, I think it should not be just based on interest rates, or if you can afford it, of course, yeah, it's an affordability thing.
Right.
If you can, if you have to, there is a way to make it happen. And it's just you need a good team behind you.
Very true. And I know you've been helping somebody that recently that is just right on the edge of being able to make it. And you found them a nice place.
Yes, and we're very, very excited about it.
Right.
Very, very excited. It was very stressful moments in between. Well, it can be heartbreaking if you set your heart on something, but we make it work. We made it work. We found something really beautiful, which actually is much better.
Isn't that the way it goes? And I think one of the things that makes us a little bit different is that our communication. I mean, we not only communicate with our buyers and sellers, but with other agents and lenders. And, we're not all ego driven. We have the goal that our buyer or our seller wants. And then we do everything we can to make that happen by open, honest communications. And I think that really helps. Don't you think? So, Maureen, what last thoughts do you have for everybody today?
I just hope that everybody had a wonderful 2023, and we wish them Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year. Get your fact-finding trip scheduled. Get your seller consultation appointment set. And gosh, wow, I don't know what else to say. See you on the next video.
Hey, thanks for stopping in and learning more about real estate in Nampa, Idaho and the Treasure Valley. If you'd like to learn more, watch this video here next or binge on this playlist. When it comes time to sell a home, buy a home, or even relocate to the Treasure Valley, your Treasure Valley Dave team is your real estate expert by your side, helping you get home.